is money.
Peasants. They're peasants.
My dog done got lit, man. He over here rapping with Tyson. Mike Tyson trying to give us some shrooms. You don't know how to act. Tyson looking out, man. This shit crazy.
Fuck your boss and fuck my boss.
This is George talking to Mike Tyson, bro. This shit crazy, bro. Mike Tyson.
Hey. Hey, Mike, come on. Let's go stop back. Let's lose the horse, man.
JetBlue, net flight. Boy just got beat up by Mike Tyson. Turn that way. Yeah, he got fucked up.
I remember hearing something about Mike Tyson not being able to like punch someone with his fists or something. Like if he did that, it's like an automatic charge for attempted murder. Like that's like the impact, you know what I mean, of one of his punch. Like it kills somebody, right?
Right.
And this video that you guys just watched, the guy who got pummeled on the airplane, he kind of had a smirk on his face.
Super happy about it.
Now, mind you, this is right now, this second, Mike Tyson has yet to be charged. So obviously in the video, you can see the guy antagonizing Mike and then Mike loses it. Like this is not a guy, anyways, we all know that. He loses it. So I'm thinking that he's not going to charge Mike, A, because he antagonized him, B, because he's alive to tell the tale. This guy, if he was looking for clout, he's got it, and in a major way. Again, I know I've heard it. You're the boxing guy. I've heard it. I'm probably butchering it, but I've heard something like if Mike Tyson was to punch you, your skull is going to cave. Mike Tyson was not wearing gloves. It was a bare fist, and it was a pummel.
I forget they measured his force, the force of one of his punches, and it was compared to a car collision. The force coming from his punch when he punches. Because they do there's a show called Sports Science. Well, I don't know if it's still on. I hope it's still on because it was an amazing show. They did Cristiano Ronaldo. They did basketball player. I forget the basketball player that they did, but they measure their stats, like how wide Cristiano Ronaldo's legs were versus a regular person, how hard his kick was, how accurate he was. And for Mike Tyson, they did one of the things that they did was how strong the force of one of his punches were. And that's what it was compared to, two cars hitting each other.
That's insane.
So that was him in his prime. Yeah, that was him in his prime. So his fists were deemed lethal weapons is what your term you're looking for. Yeah, registered lethal weapons. So same thing as like using a gun on a person almost is what it's.
So
what it's deemed as.
Am I to understand the only thing I could walk away?
But that was him in his prime, huh?
Right. No, I get it. But
not to say he still can't kill somebody or decapitate him with a punch, but
so this is what I'm saying. The only takeaway for me is Mike was holding back. There's no way that he was hitting him with his full force. No way.
No, there was a lot. He punched him a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, but it couldn't have been with his head would be like a bowl of mashed potatoes.
Yeah, but it's like when my uncle used to fight with me. When me and my uncle used to fight, he used to punch me, but he told me like I was giving you like 20%, bro, because I know that you couldn't take 100%. I'm not punching you 100% because in my mind, I'm like 8, 9, 10 years old.
Yeah.
The 20% felt like 200%. Right.
Go.
So that's probably what Mike did. He probably just eased up on the force of the punches because there were multiple punches being thrown at this. But the real question is, let's just get to the meat and potatoes here. Was Mike in the right or was Mike in the wrong for punching dude?
So the answer to that question is the same answer that I would have if you asked me, was Will in the right or the wrong for slapping Chris Rock? Okay, that would be my answer. And my answer, of course, is on both sides. Of course, Mike Tyson was wrong, man. You can't just, you're Tyson. Even if you're not Tyson, you can't just attack someone because they attack. If they were doing that, the police would be a lot more busy than they actually are. Constantly. Right. Can't do that. On the other side of the coin, bro, I'm Mike Tyson. Are you insane? I'm gonna hurt you. But not in such a public place. That was my same gripe with Will. You did it in front of millions of people.
Right.
I'm gonna walk off this plane. I'm gonna follow you, and once you're a little solo, then you're gonna get these hands. Not in front of so many people. I'm sorry.
No,
So
you
both
see the
sides.
head. You see, I know you see the head shaking. I know you see the head shaking. The reason that the head is shaking in this direction is because I don't agree with that at all. If I was Mike Tyson, he was absolutely in the right. Yes, 100%. Because if you watch that video, you'll see that guy standing up, leaned over, talking to Mike, looking at his friend, having a great time. Hey, Mike. Hey, having a great. Mike is sitting there minding his business, not trying to participate in the conversation and making it very clear that whatever is happening here, I don't want to be a part of it. I am a human being. I am not a monkey in a cage where you can walk up to me, observe me, and use me and have your fun. You want to feed me a little bit of your banana? No, that's not who the fuck I am, dog. You know who I am. I'm Mike Tyson. This guy is in the wrong. He knew who he was talking to. He knew what could have happened. And everything that he was doing was for the purpose. He got what he wanted in the end. And that's the only part of this story that makes me a little bit upset, is that I could see what he wanted. And Mike gave it to him, unfortunately, because Mike is that person where it's just like, bro, we're not going to stand for this whole flight, and we're not going to do this. I don't know how long his flight was, but we're not going to do this, even if it was a 30-minute flight. I'm going to shut this down right now.
Well, apparently Mike was super nice to everybody on the flight, just a regular person taking a flight, so it wasn't like he did this and then he was still amped up and was like irate. He went to 100 and all the way back down to 0
because he just wanted to end the situation, man.
But here's the
thing.
thing.
You to stop being in my ear, bro.
Great.
Breathing on me.
Great. You've seen the video. You're talking about the video right now. I have to ask you, this asshole, did he so much as put a finger on Mike? Yes or no?
I didn't see that in the video. No,
oh, great. So the answer is no. So that's why Mike Tyson.
My answer was I didn't see that in the video.
That's great. Released. So, but you didn't see it. So the answer is no. That's why Mike is in the wrong. He didn't even touch him. If this guy wanted to sue Mike, he would win. And just like the Chris Rock situation, he'd have a ton of witnesses, videotape, eyewitness testimony, stewardesses, stewards. Mike's done. Okay, right. He's over with. Okay.
Well, so, if I'm Mike's lawyers, and we want to play that game, we want to play the dumb card, like that. We don't know what the guy's actual intentions were the whole time, and he's the innocent person here. Okay, we can play that dumb card. I'm Mike Tyson's lawyer, and I'm gonna tell Mike to tell everybody that while he was up in my ear, he was threatening me.
Yeah,
there were death threats. He was making threats against my life. Was he doing it? Well, he must have been. It wasn't on tape. I didn't see it, so who knows? It did happen then. Just like how we don't know whether or not he touched him because it wasn't on tape. Same thing there. I don't know. But it wasn't on tape either. So I'm going to say that he told him to make death threats. You could do that. That's why I punched him. That. Let's play the game.
100%. But now we're talking. But again, we're still talking about defense. You're on, bro. That's like being in front of a police.
If somebody's in my ear making death threats behind me, I can defend myself.
Bro, that's like that's like being in front of a police station and somebody's making death threats to you. Does that mean you attack the person, or do you just walk into the police station and report them?
But who's he gonna walk to? Who's he gonna walk to and say the what are they? The flight attendants? What are they gonna do?
You could tell a flight attendant sometimes.
What are they gonna do?
So hold on, let me finish. You can tell a flight attendant sometimes there's an air marshal. They could report that. Now let's just say there was no air marshal. You tell the flight attendant what they do with the person making these threats is they remove them from that seat. They do you really think for 1 second they don't have a space on a plane that they could detain someone? I've seen videos where they chuck them in the bathroom for the entire flight.
Well, to my knowledge, which could be wrong, somebody can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Right. Air marshals are on flights. They are not allowed to reveal who they are.
Of course.
On flights.
But in a situation where there is
unless there is a terroristic real threat. That's the only time that they're supposed to reveal themselves at all. When it's real, not when it's just being whispers, not when there's whispers.
Great. Okay, fine. Let's just say
they can't do nothing. So now he goes and he tells the flight attendants.
Yes.
Okay. So the flight attendants, let's say the flight is full. one situation. Where are they moving this person to?
Bathroom.
Okay. He's still a paying person who hasn't hurt anybody on the flight. It's this one person's word against his word. So he says he hasn't made any death threats. Mike Tyson says he has. We just believe Mike Tyson as the flight attendant.
Okay, listen, let me tell you
and
this,
we
okay?
ignore this other paying person.
Hold on for a second. I understand where you're going, all right? But let me tell you this right
I'm just
now.
thinking logically.
That's great. So keep thinking with logic. If you are on an airplane thousands of feet above land, maybe even over water, and there's an utter of a death threat from one passenger to another, if you think logically, just logically thinking, if you think for 1 second they're not going to try to intervene, you are not thinking logically. They're going to separate you two somehow, some way. You're not going to be sitting in close proximity to that person.
But you're still going to be. But here's the point that I'm making. You're still going to be on the plane.
Bro, they
in
can
the air.
They can restrain
so it's
you.
not like we're on land where I can move you to a different part of the building. You guys are absolutely separated. You're still on the same plane.
They can restrain you. They can separate you.
Not
Stay
based
in your
on
seat.
not based on everything that it I don't
First
know.
of all,
Listen,
these are all hypotheticals.
You know what? Let me say
you're
here.
trying
Let
to
me say
create a
here.
defense.
Let me say here. Let me say here because you know what? I haven't been on a flight in a while, so I don't know how it works. Right? Maybe it moves a little bit differently, and you're right. Somebody could just say that this person made a death threat against me, and they could end up restraining them. I just see that as difficult to believe because anybody could do that to anybody on a flight then. If I don't like the way this guy's talking to me, I'm just going to go to the flight attendant, say that he's making death threats against me and get him restrained. I just don't see that happening.
Well, look, at the end of the day, if that did happen, let's just say that was the thing. There's legal ramifications for that too. This person paid his fare just like everybody else. This person lied on me, made my flight. It was a huge inconvenience, horrible experience, blah, 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 blah. Lawsuit. Simple.
None of that can be settled though until you land is what I'm saying.
Of course, but the point is
we're still on the plane. And
I know, but
we're still on the plane.
They will be separated. And that person who may have been lied on is like, oh boy.
Definitely move to different areas of the plane.
Lawyer.
Yeah, maybe he switches seats with another person. You know, maybe somebody's willing to do that or something. Maybe they have a seat in first class, and they move Mike up to first class. These are all possibilities. They could obviously move them other places on the plane. You know what I mean? But my point that I'm making is, as long as the antagonist and his friends, because somebody was filming, are still on this flight, there's still a possibility that something could still happen. You know what I'm saying?
That's why you gotta separate them.
So it makes it a difficult situation for them to deal with. And these are just flight attendants that we're talking about. That's it. They're just flight attendants. They're not trained in combat.
That's okay. All I know
people.
is we have seen videos. We have played videos on this channel where flight attendants jump into action and they're duct taping.
Duct taping. Yeah.
That's all true. I'm saying.
American Airlines.
I don't know what flight attendants you're talking about. These little
Yo, where did they get those flight attendants? I didn't even think about that.
90-year-old flight attendants.
That's a point that we should have brought up at that point. Yeah, where the hell did they get those flight attendants? They must have jumped those.
Let me tell you something. Ever since 9/11, the training program changed. Okay,
that's a solid point.
You want to be a flight attendant.
That is a solid ass point.
Close combat.
Solid ass point. But it doesn't change my overall thinking of the situation. And that is that if I was Mike Tyson in that situation, I'm not waiting till you restrain anybody. I'm letting you know, because I probably said it a million times already to your face. Can you please stop? I'm willing to bet Mike Tyson said that to him a few times. Please stop. Please, this is bothering me. Could you please not talk in my ear? Can you please sit down?
All I know is by your argument, right? By your argument, Chris Rock doesn't have a case because he antagonized Will.
No.
Yeah, he antagonized Will. So and here's what I do know.
I would say objection, Your Honor, relevance.
Anyways, but here's what I do know. If I'm rich, right? If I'm rich, I'm not gonna do anything that could risk a lawsuit. I know that much. right? So if somebody's threatening me,
I mean, that should be the overall point.
look, if somebody's threatening me, like, guess what? And I'm on a plane.
I got millions of dollars.
I'm just gonna say, hey, flight attendant,
Buy a plane.
This person is threatening me. I'm just gonna change seats. You don't even have to move them. I'm gonna change seats. I'm not risking losing money for what?
Assuming there's seats to be changed to.
I don't care. Put me in the bathroom.
He can even sit in the area where the flight attendants sit.
Put me in the bathroom. I don't care. I'm not. This guy's threatening my life. He's threatening my life. I don't want to sit next to this person.
Put me in the bathroom.
Sure.
That's not solitary confinement.
That's fine. Rather that than possibly lose millions and millions of dollars.
Hey, where does the stuff go when they flush it on airplanes? Do you know? I don't know where it goes.
Yeah, it obviously falls out of the plane.
And then somebody like
on some unsuspecting person's head.
That's what I always say. I thought that, honestly, I thought that for so long when I was
No, that's what happens.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it was real. So
it's real.
I was smart from a young kid then. Wow,
that's exactly what happens. Like if you're pushing your kid and stroller open, big dookie from like 30, 50,000 feet, splat. That's what happens.
Yeah, so like when on those days when it's raining and you look up and the sky is absolutely clear, piss from a plane.
That's exactly what it is.
Yep. Pee.
Mystery solved. Viewing public, what are your thoughts here? Did Tyson
pee from the fly?
Did Tyson do the right thing? That's a kind of a loaded question, but legally, did Tyson do the right thing?
This guy goes, that's a loaded question, and then reloaded the gun.
Yeah, of course.
With more clips.
Listen, if Tyson can punch repeatedly, I can do the same thing with my question.
Okay.
Legally, was it the right or wrong thing? Leave it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tyson, by the way, had a conversation with Rogan, and he believes that rich people are kidnapping homeless people and hunting them for sport.